We are starting with a live look in New York City. That's where a vice presidential debate took place last night. It was between Democratic nominee Tim Walz and Republican nominee J.D. Vance. With less than 5 weeks until Election Day, NBC's Alice Barr looks at how it could impact the race for the White House.
In a largely civil debate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Ohio Senator J.D. Vance frequently referenced common ground while sparring over profound policy disagreements on immigration.
You've got to stop the bleeding. You've got to re-implement Donald Trump's border policies, build the wall, re-implement deportations.
Governor Walz bringing up the tanked bipartisan border bill.
Donald Trump said no. Told them to vote against it because it gives him a campaign issue. When you don't want to solve it, you demonize it.
Pivoting to Trump-Vance false claims about Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio, that led to a dispute over fact-checking and muted mics. Abortion, another focal point, Senator Vance saying Republicans need to earn back voter trust on the issue.
The proper way to handle this, as messy as democracy sometimes is to let voters make these decisions, let the individual states make their abortion policy.
How can we as a nation say that your life and your rights, as basic as the right to control your own body, is determined on geography?
The nominees trading barbs over the economy.
Kamala Harris's atrocious economic record, which has made gas, groceries, and housing unaffordable for American citizens.
Kamala Harris's day one was Donald Trump's failure on COVID that led to the collapse of our economy.
In another flashpoint, Senator Vance refusing to acknowledge former President Trump lost the 2020 election.
Tim, I'm focused on the future. Did Kamala Harris censor Americans from speaking their mind in the wake of the 2020 COVID situation?
That is a damning non-answer.
The candidates fighting for an edge in likely the final debate before Election Day. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Today, J.D. Vance will be making campaign visits here in Michigan. Vance will speak at a manufacturing company in downstate Auburn Hills. Doors for that event open at 11:30 a.m. He's expected to speak at 1:30 p.m. He'll then travel west to Ottawa County to speak at Berlin Raceway and Entertainment Complex. Doors for this event open at 3:30. He's expected to speak at 5:30. These rallies are set to address inflation, the economy, and the auto industry. The Harris-Walz campaign is reacting to Vance's visit to Michigan. It said Trump and Vance would let the Chinese Communist Party take control of the auto industry and offshore Michigan jobs. The only candidate fighting for the future of the U.S. auto industry and union workers is Kamala Harris, who has an agenda to lift up the middle class, lower costs for working families, and protect our rights and freedoms. Tomorrow, former President Trump will be holding a rally at Saginaw Valley State University. Then on Friday, Vice President Harris will be in Flint. We'll have full coverage on the events here on air and also online. We are introducing you to candidates running in the November election. It's an effort to help you make informed decisions before you vote. This morning, we're hearing from candidates in Michigan's 1st Congressional District. It covers an area from Missaukee and Roscommon counties here in the south, up to the Straits and over to the western UP. I asked both candidates why people should vote for them.
I'll show up for you, and no one will work harder. You know, right now we're on the verge of really interesting new technologies, and we hear about AI and artificial intelligence and all of these things. And, you know, I want to make sure that whether it's the economy or inflation or our kids or our veterans, that we're not left behind again.
I did what I said I was going to do 8 years ago. I've done the job. We may not agree on everything, but we've moved the ball forward, if you will, sometimes into headwaters, if you will, because we haven't had an administration or a Senate or whatever that was willing to work together with us here in the House.
You can watch the full interviews right now on our website and the Upper Flight mobile app.